Happy Spiced Wednesday, everybody, if you know what that is. It's an inside joke. And it's Wednesday. Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Show. And speaking of a tinfoil topic, Coca-Cola Spiced.
Yeah, it's gross. It's basically cost zero. I'm a sucker for new products. I like to just try new things randomly.
You are the epitome of what marketing people love. They're just like, how do I get a schmuck to buy some product? Because
I'll do it once, right? But like, never again.
But that's the point, right? Like, for
Yeah.
example,
I get
what is it? Nitro Pepsi? Like, it's absolutely garbage.
Never
but
heard of that one.
Yeah, it's just nitro instead of carbonated Pepsi. It's just nitrogenated. That's not even a word, but yeah, they just
carbonated. It's just more carbonated.
No, it's just they use nitrogen gas instead of carbon. Yeah, Nitro Pepsi.
Okay.
Apparently, it's supposed to be creamier.
It's probably way more expensive too. Well, that's ridiculous. You know what? Whatever. It's Wednesday. We'll talk about shitty Coke if we want to talk about shitty Coke.
It's Tuesday. It's $2 like a can here in the U.S. But yeah, you know, it's kind of one of the funny things about those products, those merchandise, because like they'll drop that out there just for you to buy it one time, and then they'll make their money off of that.
No, I know. I'm aware. I even bought a 6-pack, a mini 6-pack at least of the it was like Cosmic or something. It was
Cosmic.
It was like baby blue and baby pink colors. Yeah, it wasn't as horrible as this one.
Yeah, I can't imagine raspberry infused Coca-Cola.
I was hoping it would just taste like Coke and spiced rum, which is like the greatest combo in the world, and just no. And I tried to put some spiced rum in it to make it taste better, and it's even worse now. So figure it out. I don't know. Well, we're starting early. Early.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
So crazy.
So crazy. That's for you, Vlad. So, speaking of spice scorelines, the matches today were really spicy. 6-1, 4-0. Like
Tuesday games, Wednesday, whatever day.
Wednesday.
What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Dash was the one that was confused. Dash hasn't slept in a day.
No,
He's on like storm watch. That didn't get too stormy, did it?
It was like premature ejaculation. Like, that's honestly how it was. You know, everyone's like, oh my gosh, tornadoes, da 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 da. And, you know, I'm out in the middle of the night storm chasing, and absolutely nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. It was just, you know, I had that moment where I was just like, why am I here? But yeah, I can't see. It's funny. I am brain farted. Dave, take control. I can't
take control. I got that. I got the cod. That's like Star Trek. Can't see. No, he's trashed tonight. Absolutely trashed. He needs sleep. Sleep is good for you, and he doesn't have any of it. So, welcome to everyone who has joined us in tonight for our favorite Wednesday night tinfoil hat show that no longer has a tinfoil hat because somebody keeps on eating it.
Yeah, you should have.
You don't know what's going on.
Reposition the camera to point to it to guilt trip.
I could have. Well, I mean, if you saw her eyes, yeah, I'm talking about you. You can't see her, but she's good. Oh man, but yes. So we got a bit to talk about. I do have the tinfoil up here. I have not looked at it yet. I just have it up, so it looks like there are a few articles thrown up. So thank you guys, as always, for posting those on the Discord. Speaking of the Discord.
Can we start like the Italian football one that German Dave gave us about Ivan Juric's assistant at Torino was taken away by police after being caught trying to steal Roma's game plan before their fixture?
Yeah. Let me find that one. I did see that one. I do know this article because it's one of those ones that I did just see on my own.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's yeah, where is it now?
Like it's in the general. It's in the general.
Oh, it's in general. That's
Frankie's Danilo article, where that one is going to be also very interesting. But
okay, this was just a screen grab. But yeah, it
was a screen grab. But that's so funny. Like I thought that was a Bill Belichick thing.
Yeah, I mean, good for them for trying, but you got caught. So, I mean, how many guys have done this before you, and you just are the one that sucks at it? I'm pretty sure everyone's doing it, right?
Oh, and I got the actual. I got it from and this is totally heavily biased, but I got it from romapress.com. So even though I'm like half awake, I can still do this. Bam. All right, here we go. Member of Torino staff caught spying outside Roma's training facilities. So let's see what they break it down here. A member of Torino staff has reportedly been caught spying on Roma in the eve of their match against the Gallerossi. It's reported in an online edition of CDS that the police Spinacetto identified Michel Orecchino, collaborator of Torino's Ivan Juric, while spying on their finishing session. Hey, yo, wait a minute. Pause. They're spying on their finishing session? It's kind of weird. Even though they still got a hat trick let in on them. So I guess they didn't really spy or get anything out of it. Because apparently they didn't watch Dybala because Dybala threw a 3-piece on him. So he was intercepted within a normal check that law enforcement do daily around the sports center in the Trigoria. Same man was caught spying on Roma last season, this time by the former Mourinho assistant, Nuno Santos. So is it just Roma that he likes spying? Like, that just makes no sense to me.
Well, according to Dave here, he was climbing a tree. Like, come on. Is that how you're doing it?
Tree?
How old are you? What are we doing here? We're climbing trees?
He climbed a tree to watch them finish? Let that sink in for a minute.
Oh, man. That's like that. There's a t-shirt right there.
That's a t-shirt. That's definitely.
I know it's not
Treegate,
but like,
it's Treegate. That's what you got to call it. Not Spygate, but Treegate.
Yeah. Hey, Oscar's back. Welcome back.
Let's phrase this. A guy climbed down some wood to watch some finishing. So
yeah, no, this is 100% that creep in the tree with the
dude.
That's wild. It's absolutely wild. Like, I mean, how amateur.
That's so funny,
especially with all this technology today, right? Like, I'm sure you could have got a plant in there to put some bugs. You know, like cameras and microphones are really small these days. You know, you just get some kid to do a stadium tour and just like throw a camera down on the field. Something like that, you know? You could be creative.
I think what makes this, like, to be honest with you, I think what makes this very comedical is that they lost badly. Like, Dybala threw a hat trick on them. Like, if Torino won,
because he didn't get the information.
He clearly didn't, or either that or Dybala was hurt during the training session, so he couldn't see him finish.
Oh man,
that's the one guy you don't want to miss finish is Dybala.
Why? Because he looks like a little boy. Sounds like a peeping Tom. Yeah, no, that's exactly the vibes we're feeling here. So it's just super weird. Stealing game plans from De Rossi. Yeah, and I think that's kind of thing too. Like, De Rossi, is he a good coach? He might actually be.
He just started.
I know, but that's kind of the thing, right? How much could he learn off the new guy? Which is kind of funny. We lost the impact of shame in our society.
Clearly, you got guys climbing on wood to watch others finish. I mean, that's it. That's all you need to know right there.
He would do better off spying the Romans woman team. They're unstoppable.
Yeah.
They're pretty much like Inter for the women's league.
Yeah.
2 years now. So
absolutely. I'm going to segue into this because apparently Dybala is getting a contract renewal too. So just because we were talking about it, I think on Monday, right? So Paulo Dybala.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to score a hat trick, see, this is the difference between like when Chiesa's agent shows up for a match and when Dybala's agent shows up.
Dybala drops a hattie. Chiesa just drops. Roma reporting to take the first steps towards negotiating a new contract for star attacker Paulo Dybala. The Argentine forward was recently the author of his first hat trick since against the Swallow, like 6 years ago. Dybala said to be pleased at his time as Roma, enjoying his stay at the capital despite rumors linking him with a possible exit in the summer. Well, yeah, because you have a release clause of $13 million. Current contract set to expire in 2025. They could advance him to 20. That's interesting. 2026. They're trying to move it a year. So Dybala, Roma's not, they're not giving him the bank essentially. They're just kind of like, hey, we'll give you another 1 year deal. That to me is kind of ironic, right? Because it's like Dybala was a pain in the ass with negotiating with us, but yet he's signing 1-year extensions or 2 or 3-year deals.
Perhaps he learned
Has
some
Bumble-
lessons. Yeah, I think he must have learned. And I wouldn't give him long term anyways because he's just so fragile, and he is getting up there in age now, so he's just gonna be ever more fragile. It doesn't get easier. So don't blame him. Good dealing by Roma. They know what I think they kind of now know what they're doing. De Rossi seems to be working out. Their team's kind of coming around. Hoyson is either scoring on his net or the other net. Everything's good.
Which is a shame, right? Like if only DiBala wasn't so damn selfish.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we're like, this is like a bad girlfriend, right? That we haven't gotten over. We keep on coming back to this.
I know.
Can we not just move on?
No, for sure. It's just it's super frustrating, but it is what it is, right? I'm trying to like I know, right? But speaking of transitioning to injured potential wannabe or superstar players that we have,
Chiesa.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the video. Do you have the video?
I have this.
I was gonna try to find the video.
Yeah, okay, I found the video, but I'll just read this out. This is come from Giovanni Albanese, but left training as a precaution after suffering a blow to his right ankle in a clash with Alexandro. He tried to return, but he was limping, and Allegri called him back out.
Okay, cool. I did find the video. Waha, from Giovanni Albanese. All right, here. Let's go. Let's cook. You want to know also just kind of like the irony of it is to the folks that like watch the game. Chiesa could have 100% avoided this tackle if he did just the simple action of passing the freaking ball. I'm dead serious about this. So we look at the play here. So it's the next play after. And pause just for copyright reasons. But yeah, you'll see on the next play here that it pretty much. So right here. So he cuts in, obviously. Takes a very heavy touch here. This is Sandro. Sandro's licking his chops. All right, so here's where if Chiesa had proper IQ, you're through because this Penny is your player, and I think that's Timmy. So you have all the options in the freaking world here. And then wait for it. See, again, still have the option, play the ball through. Decides not to, decides to go through Alexandro. And get smoked.
Oh, so he just ran into him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we can let it run a few seconds. It's Giovanni Albanese. Like, he's got his act there. Follow him. Obviously, guys. Like, you should anyways. He's one of the main characters in our sport. So, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just kind of breaking it down play by play there. It's just...
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I'm not really even that surprised.
No, and it's like, for example, you look at it here and you look at this play again where it's just like, dude.
Did you okay? Let me see it in like a little bit of motion. Was there forward motion by Sandro?
Here, I'll play it in full speed. This is the play before it.
I don't know. Like it looked like he fell away from him, kind of like gave a little toe poke, but
it's a soft tackle.
Yeah, it looked pretty soft.
I don't know. Like it's just because they stopped playing everything. Like, look, he's being legitimately helped because like Sandro didn't like completely. It wasn't a tackle by Sandro to take him out. Sandro was caught in a bad position and was trying to
Yeah, and I mean you still playing a match. You have to make a tackle. That's the point.
You have to, and it's training. But the issue again is just the decision making that went aligned with Chiesa on that play, which is just extremely frustrating because it's like, okay, great. He's like the Lion King meme right now, where you just have Simba just like, no, get back up, because it's like you either have the side. So this is right before, right? So this is the beginning of the play. You either go out left and you take a shot lower corner, which there's nothing wrong with it, but he doesn't want to. He wants to cut in, even though he never really cuts in and shoots. So he cuts in. So he's turned the defender. The defender's in a bad spot. So the problem is he took his touch so heavy outside that now he has to go back and shag the ball. And then here, you can still fire a shot. You either have a shot or you play the ball out wide. But for some reason, I don't understand this touch that he's doing here from a tactical sense. It makes no sense to me. Because it's like, what's the point? You're dribbling into Sandro and you're dribbling into, I think that's Kostic. So it's just like, the IQ is just ridiculous at this point, where it's just like, dude, this is why you're getting injured, because you're doing stupid stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Again, not surprised. Hefe doesn't look like he's very surprised either.
No, it's excruciating, man. It's just like you run into the player, and it's like, dude, you had a shot that you could have taken, or you had a wide option that you could have played. There's no reason that, like, you need to put yourself at risk like that, because it's like Sandro that wasn't even a hard tackle at all from Sandro. At all.
He always runs through his opponent. He doesn't have the speed to run past in the left and not the intelligence to cut. Yeah, this is another one getting old every single day. We're kind of going down the same route with this, right? It's disheartening. He needs to smarten up. An 18-year-old is more mature and is performing better than him right now. So I think that pretty much says what it says.
How long until the Chiesa sexuals start with a conspiracy that Max paid a bounty to his lawyer, Soldier Alexandro, to put a hit on Fede? That's diabolical, and I am here for it.
Yeah, so no Rabio, Keys, McKennie, Danilo. I think it's time to see our subs having it. Do we have a choice?
Yeah, I don't think we have a choice at this point.
Really? I mean, it is what it is. We're getting them.
I've been saying this for 4 months. Sell them for 25 mil.
I mean, at this point, you kind of just get what you get, too. You should have sold them 6 months ago. Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, Sandro did us a favor. That could be an argument. To me, it's not disheartening. Just get to the offseason and bye-bye. It's disheartening because it could have been so much more. We expected. I know you've moved on because you have no soul. You're done with them. But no, Dave. David's like the biggest, like the staunchest anti-Chiesa guy out there that I know of anyways. But for good reason. Like he's not like the Twitter people, at least. He can at least explain himself why. But let's move on to the Antichrist, Chiesa. Vlahovic. Well, Chiesa means church. It's close. But anyways, Vlahovic would like to be the man for the Juventus revival, the one who will bring the club back at the top and who will make them live new emotions by winning trophies again. This is a long thing from Fabiana Della Valle. She got very creative with his words. Basically, bitch wants to be number one, and he's looking to renew at possibly a better, more club-friendly deal.
Yeah, anytime I just, for me, anytime I hear anything that comes out of Fabiana Della Valle.
Brother, what's that?
I do not trust anything that she says anymore.
She was the one that predicted Vlahovic. So maybe when it comes to Vlahovic, she
has been wrong on everything besides that one.
I don't know. You know what? But
she has been completely wrong.
I don't think that insane. It's a fairly plausible statement, right? 2-year extension with like club friendly again. I don't think that's crazy. He's doing well enough. 15 goals. I think it's good. And I mean, if the whole thing, you get rid of him, then what? You have to go do the whole buy another one for how much and all that jazz. So I think at the moment, I'm okay with it. I'm okay if this rumor comes true. I don't know. You feeling okay?
With Dusan being renewed, I'm skeptical, to be honest with you. If it happens, cool. I just hope he doesn't taper off because he got the extension. But
Mm.
I mean, I'm fine with it, right?
Contract year Vlahovic.
No, it's not contract year Vlahovic.
No, but like that idea, right? Because he's looking to get a contract.
Well, the issue is, right, like when you extend him to 28, I think that's the projected date, or 26, one of the two. But when you extend him that far out, it makes it very difficult to sell him if he does taper off. So if he does end up playing like trash, it's going to be difficult for you to move him. It's like Bernadeschi, right? Where they is she cute? So Dusan giving her.
Is that a question? Are you telling us she's cute, or are you asking?
He's asking. Cute? No, she's an old lady.
Yeah, she's. I mean, maybe 20 years ago. I don't want to be an asshole about it. She's not ugly. It's just, I mean, she's too old for you, basically.
Not Dave's cup of tea. Not Dave's cup.
Just go for your own age group. Don't be creepy about it.
Yeah, I like for example, like I like how Dusan adjusted himself and kind of took a step forward in a sense as a player and kind of understanding what he needs to do, how to be decisive, how to really put the team on his back for the moment, for the month of February. So it's like he's come along and he kind of understood, hey, this is what I need to do. I need to be more clinical. I need to be more decisive. This is what's holding me back. And I need to have better positioning. I need to have a better attitude. If only he could do that to Chiesa, but unfortunately he can't. So look, it's Vanya. We can say it's Vanya. I personally, I'm starting to think, I think McKennie's rubbing off on Dusan in a sense, because if you've seen some of the videos of them in training and how McKennie is always kind of like there on in Dusan's corner. So hopefully that can rub off on Chico, but I don't know. But in regards to the contract renewal for Dusan, there you go.
I mean, again, like here, I mean, okay. But I mean, you know, she's a nice lady.
Whereas, so Vlad says, only a groin can stop Dusex. Extend a man a clause that he has to marry Vanya. That's funny.
Arranged marriages for
football
can talk.
That's how you get your contract extension. Just you have to marry so and so.
Oh, Vlad just posted something.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
So this is what Vlad just sent us live to kind of tie into more contract renewals. So Chiesa Juventus will put Liverpool target on the market if Allegri stays. Says World Cup winner Fulvio Colovati is convinced that Chiesa will be put on the market if Allegri stays. The Italian international has scored 6 goals in 22 appearances in all competitions and subbed off barely 60 minutes in the 3-2 win over Frosinone. His contract expires in 2025. The World Cup winner feels that he will probably be gone if Allegri renews. If Allegri stays, put Chiesa on the market. Do the same. Chiesa scored 5 goals in 6, considering how much Juve invested, blah, blah, blah. Moved to Liverpool with a recent report claiming that Juve won't accept anything less than 40 million for Chiesa. Bianconeri expected to sit down with the player's agent at the end of the season. Fiorentina 2020, blah, 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 blah. Permanent 43 million in 2 years. So that's pretty much it. So there's this other thing too, right? Where I was seeing, and I don't think it's credible. That's why I'm not really saying source wise, but there's something about Sule and Chiesa both being sold in the summer.
Yeah, those rumors have been swirling. Sure, Sule. Again, there's just so many questions with, is it formation? And Sule is good, but we've also talked about how so much goes through Sule at Frosinone, and he gets so many touches. Like, what was it? He had 70 something touches, and Juventus as a total had like 150.
Yep.
Give or take a few, but yeah, like it's very unbalanced, and he's not going to have those touches to be able to produce those numbers he is now. So he's probably a great footballer, but they might be saying, okay, is he a great footballer for what we need on the team at the moment? And maybe that is where they're getting hung up, especially for the value when they need to sell. They need to make money, right? Business sometimes precedes talent. And Sarthak, welcome in as well. Don't want to forget you. We forget people and they get surly, so.
He's like, I just opened YouTube. What the hell are you guys looking at?
Fabienne Del Valle is probably what he tuned into. But it is what it is. I mean, she's a reporter. We just got to know who our people are, right? Could Sule play as a 10 in a 3-5-2? He probably could. How much would I sell Sule for? I think they're talking like 35.
35 is the starting. 35 to 40 is the starting.
Yeah, which again, if that is the starting price, 35, business is going to be taken over real quick with that one. That's a good return on investment.
I've always been that guy that's in the boat of bring all the youngsters back and have them fight to the death during the preseason, because then if they play well during preseason, they're going to be clubs will be more than willing to buy them.
Well, and that's not to say we won't do that and then sell them afterwards, right? Because the market's going to be open for that duration.
So someone posted this, I think it was someone posted this on Discord, right? So it's 80 to 100 million would come back for Champions League qualification, then 50 million from the Club World Cup. So to kind of back on LJJ's comment, we're going to be cooking if we have all of that. It's going to be a pretty steep budget that we'll have. And then also just some player movements as well.
Sure. But nothing's for sure yet, right? We still have to lock that in.
No, for sure. We still need Napoli and Lazio to lose, but it's a tall tale sign, right? I think there's still too many questions that we need to get answered by the end of the season, right? So question numero uno, who's going to be at the bench? Is it going to be Allegri? Is it going to be Motta? Is it going to be Palladino? Is it going to be Pep Guardiola? Is it going to be Zidane? Like who? We don't know that yet. That hasn't been established, and we're not going to find that out until May. And then after that, okay, who are we moving? Who are we keeping? What are we adjusting? What's the end goal in sight? Because looking at it objectively for the last 3 years, we're trying to play counterattacking ball, but it's just working consistently.
No, the midfield. And we need to dump a lot of money. It's pissing me off so much that Frattesi's just scoring goals every week now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we could have got him if, Sassuolo didn't want to play hardball.
Yeah.
I hate that club so much.
Yeah. Fuck them. So, looking down here, scrolling through, Frankie, why do we got to talk about this?
The Danilo as a midfielder?
Yeah. Really? I hope nobody actually bid on that. I know Frankie, you're just throwing it up because it's ridiculous. But come on. Kidding me? Why? Why would it? Who is this? Forza Juventus from BS Sky Sports. That's what it is. Okay, Sky Sports. It's Sky Sports, guys. Come on. They're just throwing trash out there for the clicks. That one's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, he did play under Pirlo as a defensive midfielder.
He can. He's also 4 years older now and getting banged around, and also has to shore up the defensive line because they're completely lost without him. So tell me he's going to play in the midfield.
He's an auxiliary center back, so he plays a CDM that slots into a center back next to Bremer.
But will we put him there? We have Hans, we have Moretti. Yeah, we have our injuries, but at the same time,
to be honest with you, I'd rather put Danilo than Hans. Danilo's a lot more aggressive than Hans is.
Sure, he's gotta learn.
Because that's young,
but at the same time, what we saw, if you don't have Danilo and Bremer in that back line, we're fucked. What are we doing? Might as well not show up. We're leaky as hell. So I'd rather have a dysfunctional midfield because we can apparently work through a dysfunctional midfield as long as our defensive line defends, which it hasn't been because we haven't had Bremer and Danilo together. And then, I don't know, throw a ball at Vlahovic here and there, and somebody's going to score eventually. But we don't win unless our defense is solid. So I'm not having any of it.
Danilo's a 6 is such a Pirlo. It makes sense because we've been playing prime Pirlo in February. Wow, he just triggered half of Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's March now, bitches. Let's go. New month.
Still got 2 more days.
Well, our next game is going to be in March.
Yeah, but still.
It's fine. We're moving on. It's March.
Any shenanigans can happen. It's possible.
No. Okay, the next one, we kind of touched on this, but we can go deeper if you want. Wonder Chiesa or Allegri will leave Juve in the summer.
Oh, the Antonio bet?
Yeah, I didn't actually, because I'm supposed to be surprised. I didn't actually watch it, but I've heard this around the internet. It's definitely a sentiment.
some good old fair use here. So we'll play a couple of seconds and then react to it.
You see his face when he got subbed out? Yeah. I mean, how in the world are you playing at home against Frosinone and a Frosinone side who in their previous 4 games, by the way, conceded 12 goals, scored only 4, lost 3, and tied 1. And you have Chiesa on the pitch with Vlahovic and you want to sub in Yildiz and you're too scared to put the 3 of them together.
You want to know why you're too scared to put the 3 of them together? Because 2 of those 3 don't drop back enough to cover. When you had a Frosinone squad that has been absolutely slicing you up the entire game for no issue at all, you want to put less players in the position of concern. That is why you're scared. That, to answer that question. Moving on.
Looks so frustrated. And then after the match, Allegri says that, he wants to play on the wing, but on the wing, he's too stagnant. He's not involved, all this stuff. I really think that there's a problem in the locker room with Chiesa and Allegri. And come this summer.
Yeah, it's called conform to what everyone else is doing and stop being selfish. That's the answer to that.
It's ego.
It's ego. Like with all due respect to Fede Chiesa.
Just say Fede.
Just Fede cheese. With all due respect to him, dude, you've only been hot for 7 months of your entire career, while Allegri's accomplished a lot more than you and probably more than you will ever accomplish in your career. No offense to Chiesa. Like, if Chiesa wins, 4 domestic doubles back to back to back, we can have a conversation. If Chiesa goes to 2 Champions League finals, and, player coach, totally a different thing, right? But it's, come on, man. Like, Chiesa, everybody else in the locker room is trying to play the ball that Allegri's trying to do. You're the only one that's not.
I also noticed that Frankie has his comment right there below.
I'm going to read it right after.
One of them is going to budge. I don't see both of them remaining at Juventus this summer. I don't blame Chiesa for wanting to play in his 4-3-3 and wanting to play in a better style.
I think Allegri is a big problem.
The way Allegri plays it as an attacker, you're just not going to like the style that they play.
Okay.
Is that guy on Ritalin? Like, he's just like, it's just like he shut down when he was trying to talk there. Like, what's going on?
Antonio's trying to think, but so here's that again. Good attackers adjust to any style that they're put on. Like, honestly, they adjust. Higuain adjusted and performed well under Allegri. Ronaldo adjusted and performed well. Dusan has now added his name onto that list of attackers that came in, adjusted, and he's more all around than he was at Fiorentina. He's got a more concisive goal-scoring record now than he did at Fiorentina. He's a lot more clinical now.
Can somebody explain to me why there's a Juventus Demiral jersey on their wall?
They were big Demiral stands back then.
Okay.
Personally, I never loved the guys that go out and attack like crazy, like Zeman style, or even De Zerbi is too much for me.
He's too much for you now? You were telling me this guy was hotter than butter.
He choked too much on him.
When I watch his teams, I say they concede too much in the back. And so I understand I like teams that can play defensive. My point is there's moments to do that, right? You're playing against Frosinone at home. I mean, if you're scared to release the handbrake, even against Frosinone at home.
Guys, I keep seeing afraid to release the handbrake. Dude, they were cutting you up. You opened up the game, and then they came right after you and equalized. And then right after that, they went ahead. You have to understand your tactical balance with the personnel that you have. If you are having an issue in the middle of the pitch, you need to essentially compensate for that hole. If your car is running out of brakes, you don't put in new spark plugs. You work on the brakes to contain the damage. You quarantine the damage. Where it's like, yeah, let me just put in all offensive players, and then guess what? Frosinone have playmakers on the back end. Frosinone know how to go coast to coast. They know how to do that.
They have Juventus B team.
But it's just like, for example, to me, I find how this is just, even the comment, oh man, I don't like De Zerbi because we've been saying the same exact thing for the last 3 years about De Zerbi, but everybody called us traditionalists. Or here's my favorite comment, you like to play it safe. I'm sorry, I like to win. Winning and playing it safe are totally different things. Sometimes they might, cross streams in a sense. And unfortunately for football hipsters, that they can't dialect between the two, but it's just that to me is just like that's such an off comment to make.
Speaking of comments, I mean, keep them like I don't even watch these guys. I just don't even care what they have
And you're
to say
watching
myself.
these UN.
Look, and this isn't me dogging the individuals, right? They're great people. This is just me objectively looking
Sure.
at
I don't
people.
know. Do you know them? I don't even know them personally.
Yeah,
I
I don't
know them as
personally.
like content creators. I don't really.
So yeah, I don't
care.
like. I want to illustrate this because I don't want it getting taken out of context, right? Like I don't know them. They seem like cool people. I'm really just kind of looking at the arguments that they're making, right? This isn't like, oh, there's beef or anything like that.
No, let's be.
Players
I mean,
do stuff that they should
fun.
never do. It really doesn't make sense. It doesn't click in my head.
It's just what it is. Allegri is this old school, style of coach where he's a great, I think, man manager, but on the field, his tactics are outdated. You're looking at the.
So the question is, this is what kind of I find very ironic from Peter, because Peter's an Interisti. If you were to take Inzaghi and Allegri, as Jeff said, and you swapped them, I don't think he makes that comment. I don't think he makes that comment at all. Because what is Inzaghi doing that has tactically revolutionized? Like, I want to know, and maybe we got some brainchilds in the chat here. What has Simeone Inzaghi done to introduce a modern style approach?
I think it's more so that he has managed very effectively and has gotten his whole team to be able to click together. That with like a world-class midfield and a Martinez who's just on fire. And just like everything's gelling, and the more it gels, the more it gets better.
Great.
Because like DeMarco scores and Fratesi gets like that has nothing to do necessarily with the tactics. And I explained this because it's like, oh, it's not his tactic. Well, why? What's making them win? This is, I feel, is what's making them win. It's not because he is some tactical genius. It's just that everything is just clicking. It's at the right place.
You
at the
have
right
the
time.
right players. You have the right personnel to execute counterattacking styles, right? You have Chanalogu, who is incisive, one of the best incisive passers in Serie A currently. And then his backup, Aslani, is an up-and-coming center defensive midfielder that has the same kind of profile. You have 1A, 1B in a sense. And then, like, for example, you look at an old Mkhitaryan who somehow is still kicking and doing it well. And then you look at also on the opposition with Fratesi and Barella. Like, that's you have an incredible midfield with an incredible left wing back in DeMarco, who I think is extremely underrated across Europe. Dumfries, who is, again, an average player that does his job. He's not the greatest. He's not the worst. And then you have a substitution with Darmian in there. And you have, again, like you said, Lautaro playing out of his mind. You have a Marcus Thuram, who is the perfect yin and yang with Lautaro. And then, hell, you have a Nautovic, who is, again, like a poor man's Milik in a sense, where he's able to go in and do stuff, right?
He's only like $500,000 cheaper. Or he's the same thing.
They have everything there together in the same exact spot. And it's like, I believe it's like LJJ says, if Allegri left, Beppe Marotta would call him right away. And I don't disagree with that. Because you give Allegri the materials that Inzaghi has, and I think Allegri wins you a Champions League with that Inter team this season. I guarantee it. Like, I really do. Am I saying that Allegri's the greatest? And I forgot Pavard as well. He
just scored his first, or he's one of the few that hasn't scored a goal, something like that. Like, most of the team has scored. Pavard is this, I don't know, reject.
And like, for example, with Chanalogu, right, where I think Inzaghi was like, look, either you play as a CDM or you get sold. It's one or the other, right? And because he had Marcelo Brozovic and he had then Chanalogu, right? So like, they've always had that core that's really good. Now everything else around it has fallen together, and it's just, they might beat the record this year.
Maybe we don't. Yeah, I don't.
They
think
might
about
beat the
that.
record.
I know. I don't think about it.
I know you don't think about it, but they might. And look, you can sit here and say, "Oh my gosh, Dash is commenting Inter." Like, guys, we have to be honest. Like, they are firing on all cylinders.
Names, I said, I cannot be. Those are very good players. Rabiot, Chiesa, Vlahovic.
Bremer is one of the best defenders.
Okay, but Bremer's one of the best defenders, but he only is good at defending. He can't play out of the back. Like, none of our center backs outside of Danilo have the capabilities to do that.
And that's another reason why I don't want Danilo to go in the midfield.
Unbelievable. They play this kind of style.
Look at
Playing this style. It's comments like this where it's just like, guys, Juve and Inter are playing the same exact style. Juve just have not the best players to execute that style. It's honestly the truth.
Deli's completely ruined.
No.
Look at Deli playing as a regista. I mean, Antonio, you could have said it's impossible for Locatelli to become a regista. He's ruined all his offensive abilities.
When a player sits back, it's not because their offensive abilities are ruined. It's because Locatelli's playing deep and he's shoring up the defensive line to keep us from getting countered. That's why Locatelli's not attacking as often as he does.
That's poor use of words. He didn't ruin his attacking. I don't think his attack was anything exceptional in the first place. You can say it stagnated, but he didn't ruin it. He's just not utilizing it.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. There's no utilization of the offensive style of play because the role that he is in, he has to sit back. Because if he doesn't sit back and maintain position or facilitate ball movement, guess what? You're getting slapped on a counterattack. Like, it's just things like that where I just get frustrated where it's like, can we look at things objectively here? Can we not make straw man arguments?
He's from New York, so probably not.
He's not a good regista.
It's like he's been clipped. Been clipped.
They got
okay, but again, he's not a good regista. Who else is a regista on this roster?
Hans, maybe. But yeah. No,
maybe Hans, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, who in the midfield that we currently have right now is able to facilitate play?
I mean, again, we can go back to Danilo and put him there, but then we have the defense problem.
You lose your defense. You lose your outlet through the defense, which is why I think I said this Monday, right, about Jorginho. Like, if you added Jorginho to this midfield,
it fixes a lot of things.
Your midfield goes up quite well quality-wise. And I'm not a big Jorginho fan. Not at all. However, when you have a guy that can facilitate play, because now, for example, say that Juve have Jorginho playing as a DM, then you have Locatelli flanking him as a secondary pivot, and then you have, say, Charlie, that's your offensive pivot. You have a midfield three of Jorginho, Charlie, and Locatelli. Then your midfield gets a little bit differently, if not substantially differently. You start playing a lot differently. Because look, Jorginho's 32 years old. Mkhitaryan's fucking 36, 37. So I'm pretty sure in Serie A, as a center defensive midfielder, you can get 3 to 4 years out of Jorginho. And that's if you can't get Toni Kroos, right? Even though I believe Toni Kroos is absolutely a fever dream. As much as I would love to see him here, I don't think that'll ever happen. But, like, let's be honest. Like, we keep saying, oh man, Locatelli's not a regista, because there's no other regista on the roster besides Hans.
I mean, he is a regista because he's doing it. Maybe not the greatest, but he's still doing it. So technically he's a regista, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you add one ball facilitator as a midfielder, like an actual ball general, a ball facilitator, you can substantially improve the production of the midfield. Read some of these chats, or let me finish this video and then we'll catch up on chats.
him and they put him in the wrong position where he excelled. That's Sassuolo.
And they spent $40 million on
And you
him.
know what?
Okay, they played a 4-2-3-1 at Sassuolo. Locatelli was essentially kind of what Rabiot is currently right now. So it's a defensive pivot. So again, this argument makes no sense to what they're saying, because Locatelli was not a 10. He might have been an 8 at moments, but he fluctuated between the 8 and 6 role.
The crazy thing is, to remember,
To play a guy out of position. This is a
Playing guys out of position. These are professional athletes that, are at the highest of the high. Because here's the issue that a lot of people don't understand about pro athletes. When they're going through the youth systems to get to the pros, they generally change their position 2 to 3 times. It is very, very, very rare.
This Charlie kid plays like 4 positions.
Very rare that you go in through the youth ranks, start as a striker, and you finish as a striker.
That Jallo kid plays like 5 positions.
Kenny plays 5 positions. Timmy Weah plays like 4. And you want to know who only plays 1 position? Federico Chiesa. You want to know who also plays only 1 position? Filip Kostic. Danilo plays multiple positions as well. Federico Gatti plays multiple positions as well. Rabiot has played a left back at times. So
don't forget Bernardeschi.
Yeah, Bernardeschi as well. So when we look at that, guys, like, you're a professional athlete. You look at Man City, Guardiola slots and slides players in all the time. Same thing with Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. Look, Jurgen Klopp was playing midfielders as center backs at one point because he didn't have anything there.
Inzaghi played Barella as a regista. I know it's a different situation. They were up and they can get away with that, but still, he put his star midfielder in his position.
A player that is tactically flexible is an elite player. And you look at Real Madrid, that midfield, they can play anywhere. Camavinga can play anywhere. Tchouameni can play anywhere. Cruz can play anywhere in that midfield. Modric can play anywhere in that midfield. It's just, when you have a player that is only one item, a single thing, a bread and butter of one thing, that's not going to, and like, for example, KB Higuain, did you guys know he was a midfielder before he became a striker? So, all right, let's finish this.
A point where Giuntoli and Co need to get to work and figure out, we know what's going to happen. Who's the coach? What's the plan? How do we go forward from this moment? Because it's not anything sustainable to build upon.
No shit. That's why we brought him in. You got to give him time and money to cook. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Like, just jerking off, expecting to be done 30 seconds?
That's probably like the best comment they've made in that entire 2-minute and 30-second interaction, right?
Yeah, but it's still like, obviously, thanks, Tips. We know. Give him
like, it's, it's like, exactly. Thank you, Captain Obvious, right? But it's just like, you look at like that. And unfortunately, that's really the general consensus of a lot of Juventino. And that's the sad part about it, too. Because it's like, you have a new sporting director that came in last summer. You had no players that were purchased at all, besides Weah and now Charlie. And you expect an incredible, like, for example, the team last year didn't have a great style. And we shedded some players from that team last year and replaced them with youngsters. So you're not going to really, put something together, right? And I draw the parallel to Inter again, because when Inter started rising under Spalletti, they didn't really have a crazy good style. Really, the only time that they had a style was once they started getting players under Conte, because Conte forced Inter to spend a crap ton of money. So it's just like, it takes time. It took Beppe Morata to make this Inter. It took him multiple years to make this.
Oh, yeah. This is, well, since he left Juve, it's been years in the making. When was that?
2018.
18, yeah. So that is 6 years. Yeah.
Took him 6 years to build this roster. Giuntoli has only had 7 months, 8 months. Hell, if I'm Giuntoli is lucky that he has Allegri as a coach, because he has a coach that's stable in a sense. Could you imagine if it was a De Zerbi? Could you imagine if it was a Conte? Could you imagine the locker room rifts between Giuntoli and whoever the coach was at the time because X, Y, and Z?
I would probably just quit YouTube. It would just be, you guys would suck too much to deal with.
Like, yeah, it's just, we look at things like that, and it's just, guys, we need to take things into a better perspective. Sorry, but this is in regards to Locatelli. I'm sorry, but his offensive output and passing is not good enough in relation to his defensive play and him more forward. Would y'all rather add Jorginho or Verratti?
For what we need, I would say Jorginho.
I would say, yeah, Jorginho. Because with Verratti, you can get away with, a Charlie or a Locatelli. One genius midfielder will change everything. 100%.
Like Pogba?
Like Paul? He's okay on the ball, but in the midfield now, we need his defensive capabilities more than his offensive capabilities. How much is Jorginho worth at the moment?
Free in May. June,
free
whatever.
In May. He is, $0 in May.
but transfer market values him at 15.
So there is a possibility. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if you see Giuntoli because of the Neapolitan connection with Jorginho. I would not be surprised if they call.
He played for Chelsea for how many years? I'm sure he knows how to play for a shithouse team.
Look, I think it's possible, right? Like, for example, Granit Xhaka was, essentially ousted out of Arsenal and essentially revived his career at Bayer Leverkusen. So, look, man, older defensive midfielders, just because they're 31, 32 years old doesn't mean they're castaways.
No, and you
Pirlo's a
kind of
perfect
want them.
example.
Like they do well in that regista role because they have that IQ. They're older and wiser, and they don't necessarily have to be as physical in that spot now that they're older. So it really kind of suits an older profile more than say, a more attacking, like an 8 or a 10 or what have you.
Yeah, when it comes to the DM position, you need an experienced, you need a smarter player. I don't know how Jorginho's injury history is now at this age and whatnot. That might be something for a little bit of concern. I'm not too familiar with it, but what his capabilities are, I'm fine with it. Like I'm really fine with it.
Higuain was mid. Yeah, you mentioned that. Lord Bettner only played Lord. And he saw him in Copenhagen last week. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Hefe. Honestly, I don't know if De Zerbi is toxic for the locker room. It's just that De Zerbi does not fit the Juve DNA.
He's not corporate. He's not a corporate guy.
Yeah. That's definitely part of it. You need certain profiles for sure. And that's part of the reason why Allegri does work so well. I'd be down for Jorginho as well from Hefe.
Oscar is worth 15 mil, has an option to extend in May. I'm hoping that Giuntoli at least gives him a call. I think Giuntoli needs to give him a call. I would not be surprised if Giuntoli gets Zielinski. Zielinski has been already signed by Inter. Morata beat him to the punch.
Yeah. Unfortunately, let's laugh about Chelsea again one last time about how they
lost to the under-19s.
Yeah, sure. We're making fun of them again. Chelsea, you suck. Thanks, Vlad. Oh, okay. He's on his phone. Sorry. These are just side conversations that you guys don't necessarily need to know about. For that, he played as just a lot, a year younger, but also more injury prone. Yeah. But Jorginho is more of a regista, I guess. He's more the profile. Just don't let him take the penalty shots. That's all I say. Just don't let him take PKs. Is this like the peeking eyes kind of thing? Just a different way of doing it?
Yeah.
JC's too young for me. He uses all these hip emoticons. I just don't understand. Okay, so we'll go down the list. Vlad, we know you've been posting. We are getting to it. Vlad also posted another article about Chiesa or Allegri, but we don't have to beat that one again. But we will beat Chiesa again. I'm not telling the internet, man. Information security. Hold that shit tight. I'm not telling you how old. Chiesa spot in Italy. Yeah, he might not get the job. He might get fired. Yeah. Is that a surprise, especially if we're going to a 3-5-2, if that's happening? Even if I'm only 5 years older than you, you're still too hip for me, all right? Don't force me. Don't force me to be cool. David's saying Jorginho gives you more control over the game. He has the vision to see where space gets opened up. Keeps the ball a few seconds. It's good for his turnaround, plays killer passes. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good summary.
That's all you need. You need just that right now just to get you started. And then you can look at like a better younger option, or maybe Hans develop under him, or Barenache develop under him, or whatnot. But you need something like that there, because I think, and people will probably say this is crazy, I think the one piece that Juve are away from that's keeping them from being really, really good is a proper center defensive midfielder.
That would fix a lot of things. whole lot of things.
Faster on transition, more space to be open. It's just that's the risk that you run with younger players as your DMs. They just don't have enough vision or understanding for it.
So yeah, this is. Oh, I guess I don't need to show my DMs. I mean, I could show you KF.
Oh wow, he was close.
That was the 95th minute goal. This is just KF losing his absolute mind. Okay, so there you saw my DMs, guys. So much cool shit going on in there. But that was cool from KF, and he saw Timmy Weah in Prada after the game. So I told him he has to come on and tell his stories. It's got some good ones. But otherwise, yeah, this is from Forza Juve from Gazzetta. Not a great source, but plausible.
Why'd you wait until now to drop this? We could have showed this earlier in the show.
Because I'm just going down the list. Because I don't look. That's the whole point. I'm not supposed to look at the articles.
We're so out of order. We started with Chiesa, now we're back to Chiesa.
That's every show as well. We just trash them for an hour plus.
Gosh, we've become the anti-Chiesa channel. Everyone's gonna look at us and be like, propaganda.
We have, but I mean,
so
hate somebody.
Vlad sent us the video. So Morik had a conversation with Berto from AJC. Apparently, Sergio Conceição as an option for a potential management position at Juve, which I am a little bit surprised with the name because Juve aren't really I don't want to. How do I say this sounding politically correct? Don't really like non-Italian coaches
Unless it's Zidane.
Unless it's a former player.
Former French player in particular.
Like, unless it's a former player, like I don't know. Yes, the problem is, and like with him, he's kind of a Portuguese Allegri style wise.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really that crazy, personally. I think it could work. I don't know if he's like top of the list there, but
I wouldn't say so.
It could work.
I think the one thing I think those people need to relax on the coaching carousel until like the season's completely over, because we're not going to find anything and we're not going to know anything until the season actually ends, and then that's when they kind of hit us with the reveal all.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's. I mean, it's an interesting one. That's from Mork92. I always forget his actual name. Mirko Di Natale. Yeah. But again, he's not a Romeo Agresti either. So take it for what it's worth. He may not be 100% accurate either, but interesting nonetheless. We don't need a new coach, but we need a solid ball playing midfield. Yeah. I mean, we're going in circles, really. Get Jorginho for free. Why not? Let's do it. He's free.
That's it. Get Jorginho and all the world's problems will be solved.
Yeah.
And then I'll hear people say, this guy over here, man, thinks that Jorginho is the answer to all of our problems. Oh, well, yes, I do.
Yeah. All right. So we've done an hour of Juve. We're trying to branch out a bit. So if you're just like, I only want Juve content and that's it, I mean, I guess you can turn us off. But if you want us to continue bantering down other ridiculous things, we will. Because I want to. And there's so many good sports out there. So we're going to start. Dash, do you watch baseball at all?
Yes, I watch baseball.
Detroit Tigers?
No, they suck. I don't waste my time with them right now.
Okay. So who is your team?
No, that is technically my team. I just don't watch them.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. I'm obviously a Jays fan. Have you heard about their new uniforms? I'm bringing up the article right now as we speak.
Yeah, the cesspool of garbage.
So we like to talk kits a lot in the footy world, of course. Now, this is something I absolutely hate with North American sports. MLS does it as well. It's even in the soccer world. But they get one company to make the uniforms for every team. And usually it's not a travesty. they all look the same. It's not great for diversity in that sense. But when your pants are see-through and like really tight, no, that's just a video. Yeah, you can like see his underwear and stuff. It's really awkward. So Nike essentially, they completely ruined baseball. So you know, like the New York Yankees with their nice stitched jerseys, like even the Angels there that they're showing, no more stitching, nothing. It's just like printed on plastic shit. So when those fat, sweaty, tobacco chewing motherfuckers, you know, and they're like their tits start sweating through, and it's just gonna stick right to their tit. Oh, it's gonna be so gross.
Like, well, you want to know why? Because now women have more of an incentive to watch baseball because they can probably measure up all of that junk.
Oh, it's not just Nike generated, Fanatics produced. Fanatics is trash. They almost fucked up hockey too. Oh man.
Like Dave, you know, like I think the MLB is trying to like go towards the more female market, right? Because you know, ladies do like the good old baseball glutes, as they would say. So you know, you got see-through pants now, and you also got it on both directions. You got some anacondas and you got some yams. You got a little bit of a 2-for-1 combo there.
Yeah. I wonder, could we buy the new ones? MLB uniforms purchase. Let's see how much they want to sell these for. MLB Shop Canada. Free shipping for orders over. Fuck you. Okay.
That's like one sweater.
Yeah, I know. Jerseys. Do they have? Is these new ones? Otani, $175. Oh, this one's on sale. Guerrero Jr. I should buy that. He's the cover star of the show. That's pretty expensive for a $230 for this one. I know these are like communist Canadian dollars here, but my lord, it's just a shirt. It's just a shirt. That's nuts. Pelosa's wondering what he's missing because we're talking about baseball right now. I'm just absolutely trashing the new MLB jerseys and pants for that matter because they're horrible and it's fun. And I'm in the mood to make fun of shit. So that's what we're doing.
See, I'm surprised you didn't decide to pull up that F1 article and talk about that with the Red Bull team boss, Christian Horner.
Yeah, okay.
Hornier.
Also, why does Juve suck at merch designs? Because
all Italians suck at merch designs. Like, it's just, that's my thing. I don't understand. Italy, fashion capital of the world. Merchandise sucks butt cheeks.
Yeah, they can only do like high, just like their cars. Their Fiats are shipped. The Ferraris are amazing. And I think they also just appeal to like a bunch of 12-year-old like Barcelona kids, or I don't know, Londonians, whatever, those people. I've lived in the States for over 2 decades, and no offense, but you couldn't pay me any amount of money to make me watch a baseball game. I'd rather watch Patriot. Yeah, you're not from Alabama though, right? So baseball sucks. Sailor Jerry and Coke. How did you know I actually finished? I only had a small cup because I didn't actually want to get all slurry and sloppy. I just wanted to like take the edge off work and have fun with you guys. But if you missed the beginning,
really?
Yeah. If you missed the beginning, I bought this like a sacrilegious. You know what? I'm gonna get the can just so you can see.
He's gone. You quick and just like, hey, watch this. Like, we just play this and just be like, all right, guys, see you later, guys. We're just gonna end the show. Just mess with him and just completely disappear. And he'll be like, wait. Did you find it?
I am putting a hit out on whatever the fuck this shit is. Do not buy this stuff. It is absolutely trash. Tastes like cough syrup and it's gross.
Yet it's empty.
I can't waste. I can't waste things. I'm going to drink it and hate myself every time. All 12 of them. I did it to myself. It's my fault for being such a capitalistic pig, just buying into every little piece of marketing out there.
Fund into the system. It's not Coke Zero, LJJ. It's Coke Zero with raspberry flavoring.
Like,
with spice.
Look again. You see like this red nonsense raspberry? It actually does. I didn't see it because you can't even read that shit. Raspberry spiced flavor, calorie-free cola. there's nothing right in that whole statement.
There's nothing right in that whole statement. Absolutely nothing.
Oh man. Okay, let me bring up an F1 article because we are doing some F1 this weekend. Me and German Dave, we are going to do the first race of the season on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central European time, the Bahrain GP. So if we're going to do it more for like F1 for beginners, because I know a lot of people are like really into it or trying to figure out what it is. So we're going to make it beginner friendly, maybe get some new friends. But Christian Horner is the team principal of Red Bull, who is the best team in the sport right now. And apparently he did some naughty things. He was under investigation for some sexual misgivings. It says inappropriate and controlling behavior. Whatever that means, really. So this guy's married to Ginger Spice and has been for like 20 years or something. Like if there is one guy on the planet that does not need to get like freaky deaky with some intern at the office, it's the dude that's married to Ginger Spice.
What's a Ginger Spice?
Spice Girls?
I'm just fucking with you, Dave.
I wasn't sure there for a second. The Spice Girls.
I know.
So what's her name? Jerry Halliwell. Yeah,
because I know we have an Ice Spice now. Yeah, I guess
she doesn't look that great in this. She
Yeah.
got old. She got old.
Back to the article. And then JC Carr says F1 is just European NASCAR.
It's not really. NASCAR is sort of its own little thing. It's interesting in its own right. It's like baseball. It's interesting if you know what's going on. Sometimes.
Took a page.
Christian Horner just took a page out of Vince McMahon.
All right.
Anyways, he's acquitted. They're moving on. This was more so just a segue to also promote the whole F1 thing. And there is more. We have an F1 fantasy league. Oh my. So how do you get into it? There is a link there's a community post here on the YouTube, so you can check out the community tab. If you don't know how to get there, you just go to like our actual channel page, like click on the icon, do view channel, and there should be a thing there that says community along the top. Don't disrespect my F1, says German Dave. Yeah, get ready to yell at some haters. There's always gonna be haters, but we scare them away. Last time I watched F1, Horner was a driver. That's a long. Is it Christian Horner? He didn't piss on anybody. Fuck.
That we know of.
Jesus Christ. Pissing in the wind tunnel. And did I have anything else? No, the fantasy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I did not explain how to get to the fantasy. Go to the Discord, go to the F1 tab, or go to our community post. It has a link there. Thank you, David, for setting that up. And just for fun, I have to actually make some more merch, but the season's long. I'm gonna make some merch. I'm gonna give the winner something free from whatever the hell comes out of my head that I make, and hopefully it's not as bad as any of Juve's designs. I promise I'll do better. Ricky Bobby smokes F1 dry. Yeah.
No, Dave's a huge Ferrari guy.
So as a Juve fan, you're sort of obligated to be a Ferrari fan because Mr. Elkin, Johnny Boy, is the chairman of both teams because Exor owns them both. So yeah, we're Ferrari fans. Welcome to second place. Deshaun Watson. I recognize that name,
Deshaun Watson. Oh boy. Yeah, he is one of those guys that goes to massage parlors and just simply asks.
How about that D, baby?
I like LJJ. It's funny how USA tried to make different types of sports and that they couldn't do well at. Yeah, it's like, I'm not good at racing, so I'm just going to make a shittier version of racing. They didn't even create football or like they didn't any of those American sports. They didn't actually really make themselves.
Nope, we just stole them. Like we steal everything else.
Like basketball is close because it actually happened in America, but it was like a British Canadian dude that was like working in America that made it.
He threw a ball in a basket and was like, "Hey, this is incredible."
incredible. He was a gym teacher. It's like, hey, how do I get these like corny 18-year-old dudes to like burn some steam off? They're freaking me out. So cut a hole in a peach basket and got the guys to throw some balls in it. The F1 drive I fucks with indeed. What are you? That's like the most
sleeping.
Florida sentence that I've heard. The F1 drive I fucks with is in deep sleep. Can you translate?
You want to know what the translation is? Here.
Jesus, are we killing it? Nope, it's Michael Schumacher, my favorite deep sleep Ferrari driver. Oh, fuck, because he's been in a coma for 10 years. That is so wrong, but hilarious at the same time. Fuck me. Okay.
Apparently, John Cena just posted Teabagging Tuesday content. German Dave sent that to me in the wrestling tab.
Oh my.
There's that, and then also Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger is back to WWE, only for him to go back in the mid card. But yeah, I don't really have anything else news wise. So if you're good,
I mean, we kind of blew right through it today.
Yeah,
that's all right. Dash needs to go to sleep anyway, so that's fine. We'll have a shorter, quieter one. Nothing too crazy. My weather hasn't. No, I don't have any tornadoes either. We're good. So yeah, neither one of our powers went out.
No, I just just had to. I hate my life.
That was Frank. What did Frankie do?
For the wrestling stuff.
Oh, for the wrestling. Really? I thought you guys were just like immediately married to him and his family name, but I guess not.
Absolutely not.
It'd be like me disliking Julia Grosso.
You do.
Of course I do, because I love her. She's amazing. If I wasn't like 2 decades older than her, maybe it wouldn't be so weird. Okay, who's my favorite driver? Okay, pure Brexit driver. Can we rank it in? Random question, guys. Do you think
Marco Di Vaio? Oh, he's an older guy.
Marco Di Vaio. I think I feel like I know that name.
Yeah, he played at Juve a long time ago.
Yes. Okay, how old is he? Oh, he played for CF Montreal as well. That's probably why. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, when did he play for Juve? Let's see.
He played for Juve back in like 2002 to 2004. Like he only had a 2-season stint.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't have a whole lot.
He came in from Lazio.
Let's see, Lazio.
He was an interesting player. I mean, like he wasn't an elite striker. He wasn't a bad striker. He was like a blue collar striker.
You can kind of see by the teams he's played for as well, and his longevity.
Parma. I think Parma was when his career was at his best. He was like 83. Yeah, 83. Played 83 games for Parma, scored in 41 of them. And like that was his best goal scoring tally. And then like this, like from a ratio perspective, because he essentially like, I don't want to say he spun out, but like he then like for where I remembered him most of the time was at Bologna, because he played there for 143 games, scored 65. But yeah, Di Vaio, I never had an issue with Di Vaio. I always thought Di Vaio was one of those strikers. You know, I think he was just eclipsed because like he was around the generation where Pirlo, Del Piero, Totti, and all those guys were there, and it's just Inzaghi as well, right? So like Bologna, Di Vaio was like, if you could say like a tier striker, I would say he's a tier 2, or tier 1 is like your Del Piero, your Tottis, your Inzaghis, and all those guys. So I thought Di Vaio was, you know, I liked him. I never had an issue with him. I thought he was a good striker.
Okay, we did actually promise this, so I guess we can blow through this. Here we go. And this bastard of a website was asking me to like take my ad blocker off, so I said screw you, and I'm using Brave browser. So another throw out to Brave browser. It doesn't care if you like if you don't want the ads, use Brave. Basically, Belgium home. I'm always okay with their color. These are all just leaks as well, right? So, I mean, the photos are what the photos are.
Do you want to save this as like its own segment, or do you want to just blow through this?
Do we really need our own segment? When are we going to do it?
I don't know. I just work here.
Okay.
Do we want to
wait? Do we want to wait until there's all of them?
Yeah, because like we only have like a couple of them. Maybe we can do like one a week or something like that, or 2 a week. So it's not just like
well, right now,
one.
okay,
so
fine. Let's do
2.
Belgium. We're doing Belgium.
All right,
It's
Belgium looks exactly the same as all of their previous ones. Absolutely nothing different.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. The pattern's all right. I like it. It's okay. Pretty standard. And Reno's coming in. Buonasera. Buonasera. All right, and then we'll look at their away. Blue.
That's actually a really interesting color. I was expecting yellow or black.
Caillou. Is it?
That's not Caillou.
What's his name? It's that French. Yeah, it's that French cartoon thing.
I didn't have
Tintin.
a childhood.
Is it Tintin?
Sorry. Tintin? I didn't have a childhood. Sorry. Couldn't tell you there.
Okay, yeah, the same pattern underneath. I like this one. I like blue though. It has a bit of like the color of blue has a bit of a Greek vibe though. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if it's very Belgium, but it's all right. Oh, JC gifted 5. Holy Jesus. That's a big gift. Thank you very much. Let's see who gets
what she said.
Okay, so we have Reno gets one. Tal gets one. Oh, he's lingering. Tal, you're a lingerer, are you? Helicopter, also lingering. HMRH, Mario. I think we've seen you a couple times as well. Yeah, and P. Morton. So, thank you very much. All of you guys have a 1-month membership. Fidel, what?
I wonder if there's a couple of folks just watching the replay on it and they're commenting on the live chat.
Grande Reno, and he's in a scrimmage. That's when you try to shit. Come on,
yeah, I think.
Hey, who are we going back to right now? I'm sorry,
he's going back to the Chiesa video.
Back to the keys. Okay, yes. All right, yeah.
Just to answer that briefly, right? Like the concern that I have is you're putting yourself in a situation to get hurt, right? That's just one of those IQ moments that I have an issue with. P. Morton, Inzaghi was the Klay Thompson of Milan. Couldn't score, or he could score without dribbling. Yeah, easy buckets.
Oh no, I just realized you can just scroll down. They have them all. England away. Okay. I mean, we just exposed it. We'll do it. England home. Oh my God. It looks like England's home kit like every other year. Who cares? All right.
That's nothing new. And Dave just hit the back button and immediately kicked himself out of the stream for no reason.
I hit back on the wrong page, clearly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We know.
All the time. Okay. But what I want to make fun of, this will be the last one for tonight, and we'll spread these up. Purple? And that's not even purple. That's like aubergine. Like a freaking eggplant. Don't like it. That's gross. That's a gross color. And what the hell's going down the sides?
I don't know.
It looks like something I would see at a 90s era library.
I really don't know what that is.
That's gross. Not liking it. Did you want to answer, Mr. Aliyev?
Yeah, we didn't let him go. He left. Like he said, I don't like Ronaldo. I'm out. And Antonio answered that as well. Like, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we didn't let him go. He just.
Oh, what's the Italy Juve jersey? We did look at that last week. I just closed. Okay. Good thing. Cool thing with Brave is that it keeps your tab. So. I'll, just bring it. I have to remove it and add it again. Sorry. No, sorry. Give me another second. And I will get you Italy. We looked at that, but here we go. It looks like it has, speaking of 90s era TV static on the front. Don't know what's going on. Not a fan.
I don't mind it.
I like the tricolor on the shoulders. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I don't like how the swoop down the side is exactly the same as every other jersey that they're doing.
Yeah, I think that the interesting is the pattern, right? Because normally it's just a solid blue, so I'm okay with that.
It's too much. I'm hoping that's just
gives a little bit of variety.
Yeah, you can't really tell so much. I would have to see it in person to know a little more for sure, but
TV static, not a fan.
yeah, exactly. TV static. I don't know. That's what it is.
See, I have the unpopular one. Not comparing Chiesa to Del Piero. No, yeah. No, it's totally fine. I think like with us, Peloso, that we're kind of critiquing or really throwing feedback on is just maturity tendencies. He can turn it around, right? But like, for example, if it's true that, there's a ultimatum, either I stay or Allegri stays, relax.
Yeah. For me, it is more a maturity thing as well.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that lack of maturity is affecting his performance on the field. And Juve, unfortunately, is just not a team. It was for a few years, but other than that Ronaldo era where everything was in shambles and we were going through the coaching carousel, we're trying to get back to our old ways where we don't want that drama. We just want blue collar, get to work, do your job. I know it may not be the most popular opinion because Chiesa, but that's just where we stand. We're allowed one. We're allowed to hate on one player, and that's the one we both collectively chose to hate on. Yes, the green. I should bring them out for the Euros when they're going on. But yes, I have the green and the white one of Italy's latest one. That one's really, I loved them. Those were good. Puma. I like Puma. Not so much Adidas. But that's what it is. But if you like Puma, guys, Ferrari is a Puma team. So there you go. Remember, Ronaldo brought a lot of eyes and money also. Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of pros and cons with Ronaldo.
It's very difficult to kind of give a verdict on the Ronaldo project where it's like, yeah, it's easy for us to say it sucked and it was stupid now. But, if you didn't lose the fan revenue and all that stuff, I think it would have gone extremely differently. But I think the issue that I had with the whole Ronaldo era was the coaching carousel, which I was not a big fan of.
Mm-hmm. What is put in the tinfoil hat show now? What do you... Oh, no, same thing. I just didn't take away the notification. So, yeah, I think that is then all we have. I had to tuck Dash into bed because he's now not slept in like 26 hours. You see? You see how his eyes aren't open? He's just like looking down and his head's like slowly falling to the side.
All right, we'll answer this last question. What is your take on the... didn't we cover this on Monday?
And I put a community posting as well about it. It's been very quiet since, so I think this is one of those. It's kind of too early to tell. It's nice to talk about it. We have to look at options. Is Tech going to stay? Those are the questions. Really, is Tech staying? Are we going to move him on or look into the future? Are we bringing Di Gregorio on now and? He's going to learn for a year from Tech. Those are the questions I have anyway.
Well, here's my take is if we make a move on him, he's going to be purchased and then loaned straight back for a couple of years. So you remember the one goalkeeper that's for Sampdoria, Emil Aderno? I think he got moved to Inter, but he was at Sampdoria. He was a Juve product where Juve had him and then they loaned him for 3 to 4 years to Sampdoria, and then they officially sold him because they're like, okay, we've got bidding, so there's no reason to have him anymore. So I think that's what they'll do. They'll do that with one of the one of the goalkeepers. Well, they'll purchase him and then loan him back and see how he develops. If he ends up doing well, they'll keep him. If not, then they'll just sell him to that club eventually.
Yeah. Okay. Any more last ones?
No, I'm good.
No one then. Okay. And what do we have next? We have the Bahrain GP on Friday or Saturday, sorry. So if you like F1 or want to get into F1, please join me and German Dave on Saturday for the Bahrain GP to kick off the season. Otherwise, Saturday night is the Colin Show, and then Sunday is Napoli. So busy weekend, and we'll see you. You'll pregame Sunday on Saturday night as well. We'll do a pregame Colin Show combo once again. Why can't we get him? Put him second choice, and maybe it's just sorry. We're just going back to
it's tough to sell Tech. It's very difficult to sell Tech
unless he wants to move on. It's just I don't know. I have too many questions right now to say this is what's gonna happen. But it just shows that the management's looking around, looking for options, because you need contingency plans. If something fails, some injured, gives up, doesn't want to play football, anything can happen, right? So you always got to be looking. And that's where those rumors always come from. Selling Tech would be crazy.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
Crazy like that, Vlad. Broduzzi is off the heezy. Gotta have the most human trafficking per square. I mean, I can't confirm or deny that, of course, but I mean, some countries like to whitewash their country with sports, so it's not for me to really dictate what a country's national policy should be, right? I'm just some dude in my basement. And on that note, I will avoid the political chat and roll right into the outro. Take her away.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this Wednesday's Tinfoil Hat Show. We will see you in Bahrain this weekend, and then we'll have some Colin and some Napoli fun. And hey guys, we'll see you later.
Bedtime for Dash. Like and subscribe, everyone. See you on the weekend. Love you all.